Good morning.
Hello.
I love your
Looks like we
background.
have matching rooms.
But I have the animated clock and fish. I need to make one for you.
Okay.
See the fish? So I found out you can do a video up to like 5 minutes long, I think. So.
Well, I could record. I record the whole session.
No, what I mean is the background video can.
Oh,
be,
the background.
So I wanted to make this one and have like the door open like at 2 minutes, somebody peek out and have a mouse run on the floor. And...
I can see you improved it because you got the colored controls. You got the fish in the tank.
That's right.
The clock running. Oh.
That's the top. So are you using a green screen?
Yeah.
It looks really good. I did finally find one. It's really hard to find. I ordered it. It'll be here in a couple of days.
Yeah, you said that.
I could got like Cowboy Studios has $99 with stands and 9x12 and all that stuff. I didn't want all that. I just wanted a pull-up one for when I need it, right?
Yeah, I have a cloth version that it came with some other products I bought for photography for my wife. She was photographing clothes to sell online, and it came with a green, a black, and a white screen or a cloth, and you hang it. So I just tacked it into my basement wall. Seems to work.
Let's do a screen. I'm going to share my screen just so you can make sure it works. All right.
Okay.
So. You got it?
Yeah, I have it. Yes.
Let me flip a couple of slides here. All right.
Yeah, it works.
All right.
It works. Yeah, when I posted it initially, I got in trouble. I said how to look attractive when you're on virtual, and everybody came back and said, "What are we running, a dating site now?"
I think Hold on. I shut my door. Follow my own rules. I think I told you a couple of years ago, I do our missions conference for sure for our church every year.
Yeah.
And I kept this one family to send me this terrible picture of themselves. And I kept saying, do you have something a little better? A little better. And finally, I said, this is just how we look. They thought I was talking about their physical appearance.
Yeah, I didn't realize, I didn't pick up on it, but some of the women said, are you running a dating site?
That's right.
So,
So here's a really cool effect I figured out the other day. Watch this. If you turn it upside down, then it can't figure out where your body is. And so it just has your head floating around. Isn't that cool?
Oh.
And then, of course, you have
What did you turn upside down to get that?
you go to virtual background and you can rotate 90 degrees.
Oh, I see.
And then also, I think I showed you this. Because in my case, it's figuring out where I am. So I have a cup. If I move it out of my body area, it just disappears. I don't know if you noticed what kind of cup this is, by the way.
Yeah, it's not picking up the cup because of what? The color?
It's not my body.
Oh.
You see the cup though?
Yeah, I see the cup.
It's Ben Shapiro's Leftist Tears tumbler.
Yeah, I see the cup.
You ever watch Ben Shapiro?
No, I haven't. Let me try it.
He's good. Yeah, I love it. So you should move your camera down just a little bit so you're in the follow the rule of third. Oh, there, that's good. That's good. Is
that okay?
That's pretty good, yeah.
I'm not sure I'm happy with my lighting that I use, but
you need a makeup artist too.
I use diffused lighting, with the little white silk cover over the lights.
Yep.
And it's diffused. But well, we'll see. We didn't have too many people sign up today. I don't know.
It's all right. We'll have fun.
But the nice thing about it is that, we could be comfortable where we are. We don't care how many people there are. It all works. Right. I sent you a link to a foldable brochure.
I saw it. I already replied.
Oh, you have? Okay.
So that's the company we used. We use Fold Factory, and the gal Trish, she's the CEO. She is just such a delight to watch. She's so engaging, and they have so many of those really clever things. And she does those little demos. There's a lot of them.
Okay. So you're aware of it. I figured you would.
Yeah. No. If you go back to their channel and click on their videos, and she's done maybe a couple hundred of those.
Yeah, 500. She just had her 500.
Yeah, and there's some really clever design work done there. She features things that people have done that are custom, and it's like really amazing. So
yeah, it's amazing that you have a YouTube. I often thought about a YouTube channel for NMTC, and now that I'm archiving a whole bunch of video, it may make sense.
Yep. Drive link. So where's everybody?
Huh?
Where's everybody? Nobody loves me.
Well, I think a lot of it, what I hear back is that people are on so many Zoom conferences, for one thing, plus they still have to get work done.
I know. Susan, there's been days when Susan has done 7 or 8 or more meetings. It's like crazy.
It is. It's so we're thinking of running the water cooler at, one suggestion was run it towards the end of the day and make it more as what it was intended to be, a casual conference, you might say.
Yeah.
Post it at 4 o'clock or 4:30 or at the end of the day, and just have people more of a socializing environment.
Yeah.
So I may consider that. We're still experimenting.
Well, it's really funny. The owner of the house that we're leasing is here. He came in Tuesday night because he's getting a bunch of their personal stuff and taking it back to Oklahoma with him tomorrow. But it's really been fun having that around. Just have like another person to interact with. It's like, I mean, I love Susan Jonathan. We have a great time together, but it's just like, wow, I forgot about this. Just like we would get together for lunch, kind of stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna admit Randy now.
Randy from
Randy Rippin.
Rippin, right?
Randy, hey Randy.
Hey Randy.
Hi, Marco. Hi, John.
Good afternoon.
Only 3 of us so far, Randy.
Okay.
Not a lot of people signed up.
No. Yeah, so a lot happening still, even though we're all working from home or Atlanta. Is that where you're at now, Marco?
I am sitting in Atlanta right now, yeah.
Yeah, this is a pioneering episode. This is our first time we had somebody out of state that I'm aware of on the call.
Well, my business address is still Forest Hill, so.
But you are out of state, and it shows you the power of this concept.
Absolutely.
People could be anywhere.
You probably noticed, Randy, the cool background that I made for John.
That is great. Yeah, he told me about that.
I have the newer animated version that I made. See the fish.
See the clock running and the fish swimming in the tank.
That's great. You got the green screen against behind you as well, Marco?
Well, I'm using the virtual background in Zoom, but I did order a green screen. It's crazy. You can't find them anywhere.
Really?
Yeah, they're sold out everywhere. And same thing with webcams. I showed John where to get one. He paid a lot of money for it. Webcams that retail, this Logitech C9 2930s, which retail about $80 to $100, are selling for $300 and $400 on eBay.
Holy smoke.
Yeah, and that's what John had. You have a 920, right? Is that what you bought, John?
I think the one you recommended,
Yeah.
I bought. Around $110 or something like $100.
Right, and then other weird things, like I tried to buy some board games the other day on Amazon, and they're all sold out.
What a mess.
Things you wouldn't think about. And then toilet paper. I mean, Jonathan's gone to the supermarket every week, no toilet paper. So finally, I went on and I opened a Grainger account under my corporation. And I ordered this huge box of commercial toilet paper. It came in
They
2
were
days.
selling it by the roll in Home Depot last time I walked
Hi,
through.
Diane.
Hi.
Hi, Diane.
Yeah, so when the Comcast guy came to the day and did such a great job, I gave him a roll of toilet paper as a tip.
That's a great idea.
He's like, I said, need toilet paper? He says, well, I got some, but I'll take it. I said, okay. And it's one of those jumbo rolls, those commercial rolls. So then I had to buy these little extenders on Amazon for our toilet paper holders because the roll wouldn't fit in the toilet.
Yeah.
Too many technical solutions for toilet paper.
That's great.
Well, it's I don't have too many people who have registered for today,
Mhm.
and you are here. So this is I must have scared them away with the topic.
I told John every year for my church I do the missions bulletin, and this one year this missionary family, they sent me a terrible picture, and I kept asking for a better picture, and finally they replied somewhat arrogantly, "This is just how we look." They thought I was criticizing their physical appearance. This is what we're going to touch on today. So you want to get started, John?
Yeah, why don't we do go through it, Marco, and people, if they are going to come on. I was surprised that even Jack's not on because he's the host, supposedly.
What's up with that?
Yeah.
I don't know. We can hassle him next week at the meeting, or a couple weeks. Well, I already know all you guys, so it's a pleasure to see you guys. Nice little break here. I'll do this real quickly. Should I go ahead and share my screen, John?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my presentation here. So there we go. You guys should see my screen with my webcam, correct?
Yes.
So I actually started doing online meetings in 1995 or 6 with a product called Placeware. I've literally done thousands of them of one kind or another. So I've been asked a couple of times now. I did one for 40 attorneys. I'm supposed to do one for University of Maryland Center for Computing next week, giving people an overview of some of the tips, because as you've seen, and if you've been on lots of meetings, you've seen a whole range of really horrendous things happen. Some of it's funny, some of it's not. So we're not gonna talk about a specific product. We're just gonna go through some experiences I've had and some tips for you. And that is my cat, and he is in Maryland. And I'm hoping to pick him up in May and bring him back with me because I really miss him. I couldn't bring him down because everything went crazy. So let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, I added this slide because I realized the other day that everybody is now a movie producer. I mean, you are video producers right now. You're producing media. And the standards of movies have been around for decades. So why should we like ignore them, right? We don't have to produce bad stuff. So let's do good stuff. And what we want to do is get some instructions on just how to look great online, and then some motivation for becoming a great video producer, which is really what you are. So first of all, I've used this cartoon every time I've done any kind of talking communications. It was the first cartoon ever publicly, broadly distributed in the New Yorker magazine. On the internet, nobody knows you're a dog. John's going to send this PowerPoint. There's a link there. I suggest you go read the article on Wikipedia. The point simply is, they don't know if you're a dog, and they also don't know if you're a viable business partner or vendor, because everything you do or say reflects on your company. And if your people get on a meeting with a vendor or a customer and everything is confused and dogs are barking in the background and one guy doesn't have pants on, that's bad, right? So yeah, they don't know you're a dog, but you want them to know that you're competent. And the second rule is what I call Lieutenant Dan rule. Are you guys Forrest Gump fans, by the way?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Great line in the film. Bubba and Get There standing in the shower. He says, we got 2 standing rules here. Keep your socks dry and don't do anything stupid like getting yourself killed, right? Great line, great line. And that's what I tell people, like when I do robotics training, other things. Look, no matter what you're doing, and you both work in technology, and I know what you guys do. I've been to your company, been talking to you, Diane, Randy, I've been to your company, I know your people. You know how important it is. You own everything. The only thing you can't control are earthquakes, tsunamis, tornadoes, and hurricanes, ultimately. Right? I mean, ultimately, that's it. So it's amazing, though, how many people make mistakes because they just don't make sure they know how everything works. And I added this the other day for the attorneys. This is, of course, the scene from Hidden Figures where they figure out how to get the space capsule back. That kind of momentous scene where she finishes the formula. I said, I can only motivate you to learn, master any process requires study, preparation, and practice. There's no secret formula, no silver bullet, no magic unicorn. So for you two, particularly Randy, as staff, your people need to be trained as effectively on this as they are on anything else, because otherwise it reflects badly on your company. So I just put this definition in for the attorneys a few weeks ago about web conferencing because we use it broadly. It is a broad term. I absolutely love this photo though. This is an actual video from 1968. Wow. We've just come a long way. A long way. But this is what the early concepts were, which is such a far cry from what we are doing right now. It's amazing to me. So, right, and then the problem is I'm not. Oh, here comes Claudine. Wait for Claudine to get on here. Is she entering, John?
Yeah.
Good.
On the phone.
On the phone. So I when I did this a few weeks ago, I actually focused on Zoom, but there are so many tools coming out now, and I'm guessing that you, Randy and Diane, and probably John, you may have used every one of these at some point in the last few weeks. Have you? I've done WebEx meetings, I've done Chime meetings, I've done GoToMeetings, I've done Teams, I've done Zoom. Yeah, I've used everything on this page.
I've never done a Chime. That's a new one to me.
It's an Amazon tool. It works really well. Some people use it.
Oh yeah, I haven't done Chime. I haven't done Adobe Connect either.
So different people who've done meetings with me have sent me invitations, and there are dozens of others, and there are many specialized ones like for education. So it's just going to keep blowing up. So the point is, we'll come back to that in a second, but there's just lots of them. So the first thing we're going to talk about is setting your stage, and that's looking good. Now, this is amazing to me, some of the things I've seen. And after I did this, some friends I'd sent this to sent me some pictures they found on the web of horrible clothes. If you're doing a presentation, particularly if you're the presenter, you want to avoid bright colors and tight patterns. You just don't. Nice neutral colors, like actually all of you guys are fine. I'm wearing this nice blue shirt. Looks very nice, doesn't cause any interference, no odd colors. it really makes a difference because you can really look terrible if your clothing is wrong and depending on your video setting. Second thing is backgrounds. Now, I'm sure you may have already heard or seen horrible stories, but you got to pay attention to this. So I have my door shut in my office here at the house, and I have a little stick on there that says, "Do not come in. I am doing a meeting." Because you don't want someone walking through. There's many examples of this. And another issue that people ignore is some identifiable items. My son, who's here for efforts ROTC, had done a number of meetings before he realized the photo that was behind him, that the owner of the house had, is this sort of strange, mystical, sort of demonic African painting. Right? And so he said, "Can I take that down?" Right? So it is important to make sure that there's nothing you don't want the world to see, right? Next thing is lighting. Now this is just like you, Diane, you're lit really well. John and I are lit well. Randy, you're pretty good. You look pretty good. But the one on the right, the backlighting is the worst, and then just lots of bad lighting. It's just not necessary. Just a couple of desk lamps with shades on them are fine, or something reflecting off the ceiling. I have lights reflecting off the ceiling here, and you can get pretty affordable. These are not affordable. There are these ring lights that a lot of people are using. As I mentioned to John when I was starting, it's really hard to find some of the stuff now. But if you do a lot of video presentations as a presenter in particular, getting decent lighting for your desktop is really a good idea. So again, like in Randy's case or Claudine's case with a lot of staff, you may want to set up a room specifically designed for people to run meetings that is perfectly lit, so forth. Next thing, and this is the one that is, like John said, thanks, I put my stuff up on books. This is probably the worst one, is which I dubbed the age of the nostril, which is everybody holding their phones and doing meetings, and you're looking up their nose, right? It makes a really, really big difference if the camera is at eye level or slightly above, like mine is, John's is. Randy's a little low.
Low.
Diane's is okay, it's pretty good. Because you don't want what you see on the left here, you want what you see on the right, right? And it's sort of very unpleasant view of people in general. And so that is just super easy. Stack it up on some books if you can, and if not, there are little stands there's all kinds of things you can buy for that. But it's such a simple way to improve your video. The next one is ambience and background noise. So I don't know if you guys remember this. And when you get this, you can follow the link on the left. This was a famous interview. This BBC guy was very seriously talking about some world problem. His two kids came in and wandered around and pulled on his coat. His wife tried to get one, and the one ran away. It was just totally hilarious. Just completely. And he was trying to maintain that British straight face the whole time, right? So you just want to make sure that nobody walks in, you're like, "Hey, you want a hamburger?" kind of thing. It just really destroys things. It's not really funny. But this was, of course, classic, and you go look at it. It's worth a few minutes. The next thing is hardware. So this is another, now fortunately, computers have gotten so powerful, most of them do okay. But if you're the presenter in particular, you want to absolutely make sure that everything works right before you wade into your big meeting. Number one, is it fast based on testing? If it's a laptop, is everything charged up and plugged in? Do you have enough RAM? Typically at least 8 gigabytes of RAM or more to run some of this stuff. If you're using speakers, are they legible? Can you hear them? And the webcams that are built into most monitors and laptops are pretty average at best. So if you're doing a lot of meetings as a presenter in particular, you want to get a better camera. And these Logitech cameras are the best. I've used them for years. I had 5 or 6 of them at one point. I've given a few of them away over the last few weeks to people who pleaded for them. They have great audio, great video, and you can see the retail prices there. They're just really hard to find right now. John, I looked far and wide for John's camera a few weeks ago, but it really helps. And part of the reason is this. So this was our Easter setup with our family. We did a virtual egg dyeing together with my girls in New York. So you see, I have the camera up here on a tripod. Gives me total flexibility with external camera. You can move it around. It doesn't have to be on top of your laptop. It can be some other place. You can pick it up and move it, which we did this day. So I could show the girls the eggs we did. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. And plus the image just looks extraordinarily better. Now this one, of course, makes everybody cringe. clean up your desktop, all right? No one should ever see a desktop like this. Now, my dirty little secret is I have 4 big monitors. The center monitor I use all the time is always crystal clean. The one on the right, not so. But the one you use for your sharing, clean it up. Don't have it look like this. It just looks terrible. And infrastructure. I have seen so many meetings fail, particularly if the presenter fails, because they're not sure they have decent connectivity. If you've never seen this little dinosaur thing, it's this little chrome thing, where if your internet fails, you can make the dinosaur jump over the cactuses, right? But I tell people, test. Hardwire is always better. If you're on Wi-Fi, test it to death. If you're using a hotspot, same thing. If you lose connectivity, it's so annoying. Your audio goes in and out. You drop your meeting. It's just a mess. Don't want that to happen. And then, of course, the ever-dreaded Windows update. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I have seen it where it starts a Windows update right in the middle of something critical, right? So if you're the presenter particularly, make sure it's either updated or suspend updates or do something, because you can't get out of this. And then you got to say, oh, yeah, I'll be back, right? Just doesn't look good. Very, very important. And this is, I put this in red. It's the only thing in red in the whole presentation. Do not install Snap Camera or any similar tool, okay? I know it is super fun, but first of all, I tested it on my workstation, which is like super fast. And it had a huge impact on the workstation. Secondly is, I just think it's business inappropriate. I don't know if you heard like some horrible stories of people and use their like son's or daughter's computer and they were a potato head and they couldn't figure out how to turn it off, right? Just unfortunate. So just don't do it. That's all I have to say about that. All right. And then virtual background. So right now we're using Zoom. I have my virtual background turned on, as you can see. John does as well, but he's actually using a green screen. Virtual backgrounds are available in some tools, but for it to work, you need really decent lighting like I have here. But there are some strange things about it. So for example, because mine is a virtual background, not a green screen, here's my cup. If I move it away from me, the cup just sort of disappears. Mm-hmm. And you know, you can have some really anomalous things. I did discover that I could do this, which I thought was like super duper cool, although I wouldn't suggest that you do this in a real meeting. If I rotate this way, I just have a floating head, which I think is like really super cool.
That is.
Because it can't figure out where I am, you know, so it's sort of confused. However, if you're going to do this, and the backgrounds are great because you can see on the one on the left my actual office and the other one the cool thing I did. So, but you need, if you use a green screen, great. Make sure you have decent lighting. So if they're hard to find, by the way, I finally found one the other day, but they work very well. This is the green screen concept. If you're not familiar with it, it's called chroma key. There's a chroma key blue, a chroma key green that are standard colors. They don't really exist in almost any normal scene, so you can knock them out with the video, and you can see it works quite well in this example. This is how they do all the movies, and you can do it at home too. It's pretty straightforward. And now we get to the media part of it. So my motto is bad media is worse than no media. Make sure your presentation is perfect, like Mary Poppins. In the 90s, we went to see a movie, and I can still remember this day. It was when they had slides before the movie, before it was all digitized, and this was upside down. And my kids never forgot it, never forgot it. Oh. It was just so funny. But you don't want that. You don't want people to remember your presentation because it was bad. So this is my pitch. And you guys are all seasoned presenters. I know a lot of you. You know, the things you don't want to have super complex animation. You don't want to show videos, although tools like Zoom and I believe Adobe now will let you run the audio directly through your system when you share, which means it sounds good without compression. But test it. Make sure you have your documents in order. Make sure what you're showing on screen is visible and you know where it is. Make sure that all your software is up and running, and hide non-meeting items. I've had, you know, everyone's had some embarrassing moment in the middle of presentation, a little thing pops up on the right, says, don't forget to buy eggs on the way home, or something else, right? Just, you want to totally prepare yourself for no distractions at all. And the same thing with the system setup. So I'll show you this picture a little bigger in a second. But if you're the presenter in particular, you know, I've seen people struggle like minutes before a meeting. You want to be on 30 minutes before, everything booted up. Clean your camera. This is funny. I've been on meetings with people say, would you wipe the lens off on your laptop? Because laptop tops, you pick them up like this. They're smudged up like big time. Make sure your lens is clean. Hide pop-ups. Turn off your phones. I muted both my phones before we started this meeting. And if you're using a large meeting, use 2 monitors so you have lots of room to monitor, and get an assistant to help you. It is very, very hard to run a big meeting by yourself. And then you'll notice here, set up a guest of your own. So I have a made-up user. You see it on the right here. I'll go to the next slide. That I watch the meeting as a participant.
Oh.
I didn't do that today because only a few of us. That way I know exactly what's going on. If something goes wrong, I know it. So
Great.
this is my person called James Solaby that I made up, and he joins all the meetings that I do that are big. In this case, I was the admin for the meeting. I ran it. I monitored all the people coming and going. Angela monitored the chat the whole time, and Ken did the presentation. So there were 3 of us to do this 90-minute meeting on COVID for this national ministry that I work for. So it was pretty cool. My wife, of course, complained because she had to run a meeting with 200 people by herself for the Boys and Girls Clubs. And she said, you had 3 people for 2 days to get ready for a meeting? That's not fair. I was like, well, okay. All right. Next thing, and this is so critical. The web, and you guys all know this because you all work in technology. The web browser concept is sort of getting blended into everything. I mean, the stuff they're doing in web browsers is nuts. Like if you use QuickBooks Online, I'm working with DocuSign now. It's so hard to distinguish them from an application. Nonetheless, the desktop applications are so important to use especially if the presenter. You have way more control. They all have one. Install it, test it, configure it. And I've seen, again, there's another issue. I've had so many problems with people doing it, particularly if you're the presenter. And this is something I tell every person. If you're starting in this, or if you're struggling with it, you got to just practice it. Whatever tool you have. Zoom has an amazing Zoom university. They all have amazing tutorials. I tell people, start with a simple test meeting, set your laptop up, grab your kid's iPad, whatever, set a little meeting up for yourself and just play. Do your own little presentation. The next thing is to do a big meeting. Grab some friends, ask them to join you for 15 or 20 minutes, have them come and go, turn off their video, kick them out of the meeting, have them share things. If you're using meeting rooms like Zoom has, understand how it works so you don't struggle with it. It's just so important. And I know this seems so obvious, but people don't do it. You got to just practice. Once you do it a few times, you got it down, you're good. The point is to be smooth and precise and unobtrusive. And then when it's done, there are a few things to do. So I'm really excited about go to meetings now. They do an automatic transcription at the end, which I need to figure out, turn on. But there may be a lot of post-meeting tasks. It's not just over. If you're the manager of the meeting, if it's recorded, you're going to download it, do something with it. You may follow up with your attendees. You're going to make some lesson learned notes for yourself, and you're probably going to complete some action points in the meeting. Just like any other meeting. I know some of them get really tedious and crazy, but you just got to do it. And so, look, for better or for worse, this is the future for now. And I have a feeling it's going to get cemented into business and school in general. We are in a crazy world right now. And so people are seeing you and hearing you, and more people are committing themselves to the video than ever before. And you just want to make sure you do it right. That's all I have to say about that, as far as Gunther would say. It's just really important. So I know the last thing is wear pants. Now, I don't know if you guys have watched this, John Krasinski.
Yeah.
This is the most brilliant. He is brilliant. It's on YouTube, Some Good News. It is so awesome. It's so much fun. And of course, his little trademark at the end, each time he gets up, he's wearing something else. But there have been embarrassing instances where people got up and forgot they weren't wearing pants. We don't want that to happen unless you're John Krasinski. Okay, so that's it. So there you go. That's my big motivational talk on get it right. Train your people. All of you on here are corporate leaders. Train your people. Do it right. Be exemplary at this. It makes a difference. It makes a big difference. So that's it, John.
Open to questions.
I love your virtual background, especially the animated portion of it. Is that something that's available in everything besides Zoom as well?
Zoom does virtual backgrounds, and I haven't surveyed to see which other ones do. Some of the other ones do green screen, let you do green screen backgrounds. I should go through and look at them. I just didn't have a chance. But in Zoom, you can do those backgrounds right now, even on the free version. And it's just a 1920 by 1080 video. So if you want, I can make that video with your logo, Randy, since I have your logo.
Very good.
Same thing for Diane. So
Yeah,
it's
I was
kind of
wondering
fun.
how, this is Claudine. I was wondering how you did the background. On Teams, they have set backgrounds that you can choose from. I don't know that you're able to customize them. At least I haven't been able to figure out how you can, but they've got a choice of about a dozen or so backgrounds that you could put up if you'd like.
Yeah, so like I said, I'd like to look into the other ones. It's all happened so fast. But Zoom just works great. And you see the one, John has the version 1.0 background I made, and I have the version 2 I made with the animation. So it's kind of cool.
That is.
Yeah.
But how do you pull it? Where do you pull it from?
So in Zoom, you
Put
make,
it-
yeah, you make a video 1920 by 1080, up to, it can be up to 3 minutes. That's only a 5-second video you're watching, or 10-second. And you just put it on a folder on your computer, and you open the Zoom control panel, go to your settings, virtual backgrounds, and there's a way to upload it, basically.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, it's
pretty
easy.
cool. Yeah. Pretty neat. People like it. You know?
Yeah, it's cool.
So
Fun stuff.
that background that you see, the first water cooler thing I joined with John, I thought I need a water cooler. So I went on to iStock and I bought the background graphic, which is black and white. I brought it into Photoshop. I did all the coloring, and then I brought it into Premiere and did the video. This is a way overachiever for that, but it was just fun.
Marco, that large meeting that you held, you said you had breakouts in that. Is that something that is available also within Zoom?
Right, so we did not use breakouts for that meeting, but yes, Zoom has a pretty extensive effect here. I have, and I can actually give you guys, I did a little overview of that. Let me bring it up here. Meeting supplement here, hold on one second. Let's see how this is doing shares here, hold on. I'm gonna restart my share here, give me 1 second. All right, so this was the supplementary piece I did after the call with the attorneys. We talked about music, and this is unique to this, and I think Adobe, you can actually check this box when you share a video or something with audio, and it'll run it through the computer audio layer rather than the microphone. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
I talked about the green screen, which we already talked about. So here's a breakout room. So in Zoom, you have a whole bunch of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And down on the bottom, it says breakout rooms. So you click on that, and then there's like all kinds of ways to do it here. So you can assign, if you have like 100 people, it does the math here. There's only 3 people on this meeting. But you can do it manually, or you can do it automatically, and so forth. If you do it manually, you can assign, you can create new rooms. You can see all the arrows here. You can assign people to each room individually, and so forth. You can set all kinds of parameters for each room. You can see some of the choices here. You can move them automatically. You can have them return whenever they want or not. You can close them. So Randy, like in your case, if you were having a meeting with if you had like 50 people on the meeting, or Claudine, any of you, you could split people out and say, okay, you got 15 minutes to come back with ideas. And 15 minutes later, the rooms would close and everybody would come back to the main meeting. And then there's lots of other functions. So you can see that you can rename a breakout room, and you can invite people to join them and so forth. And this is really just, like I said, it's the kind of thing you just have to practice. So you can also move people around. So I could move James from one room to another and so forth. It's just all there.
Wow.
You just have to practice it.
Yep, that's exactly why. Yeah, you said practice, practice, practice. Makes sense.
Yeah, so this is really cool. And lots of other tools have breakout rooms as well. And so one of the things that has improved in the 20 some odd years I've been doing these, the video now is extraordinary. The video that is saved is, if you save it to the cloud on most of these systems, you'll get, if I was saving this now, all of our videos would be included on the left of this or on the top, depending on what it is. And I've post-edited these videos, and they're really good quality. So it's very, very useful. I've even used GoToMeeting just with a meeting just by myself to record demos that I then later edited. So yeah, pretty
And
cool.
John, you're recording this one right now. Is that going to be available for us to look at?
Well, it could be if you'd like. I haven't had the only one I had a request from was 2 sessions ago, Todd Marks, when he did the thing on the wizard, the relief wizard.
Mhm.
But he's great at digital marketing, so he's taken that and we'll use that on his promotional pieces, as he does with multiple conferences that he hosts during the week.
Yeah.
You're welcome to it. You're welcome to it. I haven't done anything with it because, it's a big file.
Mm-hmm.
This one will probably be gets close to 1 gigabyte, so it's not easily transferable, except uploading to a file server and then you downloading it.
So this picture I just put up is the other side of the wild online meeting. It's all the students. My son Jonathan this morning on his ROTC wing meeting with 200 cadets.
Wow.
And, they're trying to keep camaraderie up. And he let me do his photograph for a project I'm on. But it's crazy how this has changed education and business, right?
Absolutely.
So.
Well, is it possible? I think if there's a way we could upload some of the videos and then just create links for people to access it online. That way you're not, sending it or emailing or whatever, but I'm sure there's a way to do some sort of archive where people would have access to the video if they want to view.
So John, we could post, you could just upload the video to YouTube and as a non-published video, and then you can put the link wherever you want, but it wouldn't be publicly findable. I can show you how to do that.
We have a NMTC YouTube channel. We haven't used it. So that could be possible to do it there.
And John
for some of the things that we're doing as far as some of the speakers, if we want to record that portion, I don't think we need to record the whole water cooler, but if we could record the portion of where speakers and maybe the Q&A, then we could upload that. And if people are interested, then at least they could access it if they wanted to.
Yeah, Marco, you could help me with that, correct?
Absolutely. Why not? After you gave me another word, you own me for life.
Marco, I have a couple of Logitech webcams, and I do like them. I'm on a laptop here, but I do. But I have one on quite a large monitor downstairs, and then I have one on my dual monitors up in my office. And the way those clamps are on those, they just kind of rest on top of the screen. Have you found a good one that has something where you could either put it on the side of the screen and also rotate the camera?
Well, I haven't seen you rotate, but the C920s and above actually have a tripod mount on the bottom.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. That's why I have them. That's how I used it for Easter.
Yeah.
But you also can just go to Home Depot and get some heavy duty Velcro.
Yeah, and just
They're
do it.
Super light. Just Velcro them on there.
Okay. Good. I
John
know
has the PDF of this PowerPoint, and he's going to send it to you right after the meeting.
Hey, Saturday Night Live, I can't remember the thing, but with changing faces, I'm too old for that. But Saturday Night Live did a great skit this week on just that, where they had a guy calling in from home, but his kid was running the thing and kept changing his face. It's really funny.
Yes, it is. Not that funny, especially when you're in the middle of $1 million deal. So as we said, because I am now in Atlanta, I decided that she could work. She works with the Boys and Girls Clubs, and they're very, very busy trying to reach millions of students who are just have no access to education. It's amazing what they're doing nationally. And so I can work from anywhere. So I came down here, and 12 hours after I got here, Jonathan called and said, "Hey, they're closing all the campus dorms. I'm coming down." I was like, "Okay." So we're here. We're having fun.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, this is our first session where we, as far as I know, we had somebody out of state or out of our local geography. you know, on the call and presenting. So it does demonstrate the possibility of what this could offer going forward, even when we do move out of the house. And I know, Diane, you've done this on your travels.
I'm in Western New York right now because I'm turning the water on at the trailer park. So I'm on a lunch break and 350 miles away from Baltimore. So
Randy looks like he'd like to be in Hawaii, and Sue looks like she'd be in the beaches of Australia.
I would just say
in
beaches, Stephanie.
Claudine is in Florida, so you know, she's out of state as well. But it shows you that it's irrelevant, really, where you are,
right?
Because we're all together, you know, on the screen.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough for real estate companies going forward.
Actually, I'm working on a project with some real estate companies right now to expedite sales virtually.
Okay.
Intense.
Any other questions for Marco?
Hey, Marco, I have one more. Well, first of all, I want to really thank you because you gave some really nice ideas on how to,
Absolutely.
then a lot of things to think about. And the testing phase is something that, you know, I'm always doing things at the last minute and would skip over that. So that was really good advice to speed it, you know, do it on the front end. When you were talking about ring lights,
There's a whole bunch of, if you go onto Amazon to ring lights, they're circular lights, and they make a really nice, so you can put like if you have a cell phone, you can put it right in the middle, but it just puts super nice light on your face straight on. And it's very compact, you know, they're very small. So
yeah, I have one at home. I use one.
Yeah, now it's like Susan has been doing her meetings from the bedroom upstairs, and the lighting is very good, so I took up one of my photographic LED panels this morning, and we set up this commercial lighting in her room. Okay. It's like too much. You need something you can slip in your briefcase and just set up anywhere. So that's what they are. So.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Well, Marco, thank you for excellent presentation. I'll send it out to everybody. And while we have people on the line, obviously this is where we open it up for updates and conversation on things that people have discovered during the week that's helpful to someone else or would like to point out something. And I'll start it off by just asking for suggestions on future topics for the water cooler, or at least a virtual meeting concept that we are hosting every week, as far as topics we should be looking at covering, if anybody has ideas. I know those that I see online have already volunteered comments because they're on the NMTC board. But we're open to how to make this thing productive for the members and for the community.
Something practical. If you really come to Georgia, man, you can get your hair cut, you can go bowling, and you can get a tattoo.
Come to Georgia.
In that order.
I found a woman who had a home salon last night. She's allowed to open, and I drove 20 minutes to get my hair cut last night. Had to wear a mask.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know, John. There's so many things. Sue, you're muted. You need to unmute yourself.
I said your haircut looks great.
Thank you. It was the most expensive haircut I've ever bought. It was a salon haircut.
Okay.
I'm thinking I need a makeup artist to prepare me for this these videos. A stylist.
Well, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but if you go into the settings, and you can't see this because the way Zoom's set up, but if you go to your video settings in Zoom, there's actually an option that says touch up my appearance.
Okay.
And it works.
All right.
Marco, when you were telling not the joke, but about those people saying, hey, this is how we look, it did remind me of a photographer or whatever. I said something about, oh, make me look good. He goes, if you want a better picture, bring a better face.
What? You fired him on the spot. Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
Well, there was a newscaster recently circulating, online. I don't know whether it was Baltimore. I'm not sure where, but I think it was a sportscaster. And while they had the bar on the bottom of the screen, that runs across, that news feed bar, it covered part of his anatomy. But when they went to do a double screen with somebody else, that bar disappeared and he was in his underwear.
Yeah.
With
That's what I'm
certain tie on top. And it was one of those faux pas moments. So it echoes what Marco said.
Wear pants. I switched to the Atlanta skyline for you guys. There you go.
That's pretty.
Susan
Looks
showed
good.
that with her phone.
Yeah.
So, well, it's nice to see all of you. It is very strange to not even be able to go to a restaurant, scratch behind your ears or anything. So it's really a pleasure just to have a few minutes with you guys, sort of face to face. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Likewise.
Good to see you too.
Likewise.
All right.
Well, one last call for the good of the cause. Any comments? Otherwise, I'll end the meeting. Get everybody back on doing what they're doing.
All right.
Thanks again.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Thanks,
Yeah,
everybody.
thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Have a safe day.